I've been a PC gamer for my whole life. As such, my tastes related to gaming have been shaped by this platform, as I experienced most of my leisure time with the products it offered. 1,000 flavors of strategy games, shooters with a variety of settings, and of course, point-and-click adventure games. There are a dime a dozen. So naturally, this made me approach Voodoo Detective, as I was in the mood of something lighthearted, something funny. And you know, the ad blurb seemed right up my alley. Do you like adventure, comedy, and dime store detective novels? I mean, I hope I do, otherwise it's going to be some very awkward hours. Anyway, after playing, it's definitely not the peak of this genre, but I did enjoy my time with it. The story premise is, you are Voodoo Detective. Not the Voodoo Detective, but Voodoo Detective.
Are you Voodoo Detective?
Who gets visited by a woman with a most peculiar case. She has lost her memory, and needs your help to recover it. This will lead the protagonist to unravel the mysteries of the industry Venture Islands, and discover the truth about their new secret ingredient that makes their food irresistible to whoever gets a taste of it. There is a recurring joke where you can abandon the adventure. It's really fun, but I only did it at the start, and not at the other chances, as the game doesn't have a manual save, so who knows how back would I have put me if I had taken the other option. And the humor itself is fine. A bit of slapstick here, a reference there, a slew of slang that I had no idea what it meant at the time. Seriously, more than once I stared at the screen thinking, what?
But she never mentioned a tall drink of water like you.
Now we're building pyramids of surmise on a foundation of ignorance.
She swills cheap spill at the Sheik's Shore restaurant.
The final confrontation was a particular head-scratcher. To use pseudo-fighting game but actual turn-based mechanics was unexpected to say the least. I can definitely imagine the dev standing right next to me, clenching his fist and exclaiming enthusiastically, "Cool, huh? What you think? What you think?" It's cute, really. Sometimes the puzzles are very obvious with their solutions. Like, there is this box that causes suffering to the protagonist, and the solution is to find something to numb the pain. Do you want to know what was it? A tax codebook. This, added the fact that the protagonist will provide hints when clicked on, makes for an easier point and click. Other notable features are the wacky characters. There are some oddballs to meet. Heck, some aren't voodoo related but are creepy anyway. That stare. There is no compassion behind them eyes. Only cold, calculating logic. I guess working a front desk job will do that to you. So that's Voodoo Detective in a nutshell. But while playing, I could not help myself and reflect about point-and-click games, and how they fostered new subgenres in the modern landscape. Let's start from the beginning of their end. Many believe that the main cause of their decline was due in the rise of fast-paced and 3D FPSs, but I don't really agree with this sentiment. Sure, they're great games, but not particularly rich in story. Of course, the culture was radically different back then, but that doesn't change the fact that the person who plays fast-paced shooters is not necessarily the same one who plays story-rich experiences. There were shooters that mixed narrative and gameplay, but their stories were told in a much more implicit way, so not appealing to the fans of the theatrical ways of point-and-clicks. I suspect a better candidate for the start of their downfall resides more in the rise of CRPGs, as they showed that you didn't have to choose between having a good story and a fun gameplay. You could have both. Or, at the very least, a gameplay better than them, unless you consider Excel to be the peak of game design. This phenomenon got cemented during this generation of consoles and games, as the technology got advanced enough that designers could bring to light almost any idea they wanted. Space operas, Saturday morning cartoon-style comedies, epic fantasy sagas, thriller spy stories, and so much more. Unless we are talking about extremely bizarre and ultimately unsuccessful and obscure experiments like 1998 Alien Earth that tried to mix top-down puzzle solving with RPG mechanics, point-and-clicks found themselves stuck in a corner, being unable to innovate without ruining what made them unique. As such, these genres slowly became relegated to small indie teams and niche studios, and even the seconds wouldn't just keep rehashing what worked forever, as eventually they would experiment and branch out, creating new forms of story-focused games that strive to diverge from their roots, culminating in things such as the stereotypical Telltale adventure game and the walking simulators, which did away with the puzzles for the sake of focusing more on the story. And what I find remarkable is how this process of transformation doesn't seem to be stopping. I played recently the demo for Clanman 2, and I couldn't help but notice how the devs built this game following the same design principles of Disco Elysium, which is, as many others before me have pointed out, fundamentally a CRPG without combat. I don't know, I guess I just found interesting the way devs have experimented over the years, and felt like talking about it. It makes me wonder what next step they'll make.